Hello, everyone. I hope you all can hear me clearly. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and coming and watching our webinar. As you all know, today's webinar is especially about express entry. For those of you all who are looking to apply for your permanent residency, perhaps this year or in the future, today's video is going to help you get an overview of the express entry system, mistakes that may be causing your application to get refused, and what is required for your application. So stay tuned as we shall be starting shortly. Sorry. So as you all know that Canadian immigration is always evolving with numerous changes, and due to these changes in policies, it is important to keep all of you all updated. Therefore, we create new content and videos, as some of you all may have seen our YouTube and TikTok videos as well. So usually we create this content so that we can guide you all in the right direction, so that your application can be successful in the first go. As most of you all know, the Canadian government has promised that they would be welcoming over 400,000 applicants this year. So we'll be having a series of webinars to ensure that people are aware of ongoing changes. There are numerous scams out there that people fall prey to, and it is very important for you to know who your application is going to. In today's webinar, you all will not only be meeting me face-to-face, but also with our Vice President and RCIC consultant, Mr. Nabil Khan.
Hello, Stacy. How are you?
I'm good, Nabil. So to all our viewers, this is Mr. Nabil Khan. He's not only the Vice President of North Vista Immigration Consultants, but he's also the co-founder and he is an experienced, regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Nabil, would you like to say hi to our viewers?
Hello, viewers. How are you doing? I hope all are well. And thank you all for joining through this webinar. And as Stacy mentioned, the reason for this webinar is to guide our viewers and our clients on the best way forward that could help them in the right direction.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nabil. So now that you all have met Nabil and you all know about Northwest immigration, let's start by going into some facts about Canadian immigration. So Canada has invited 27,332 candidates to apply for permanent residence in its latest express entry draw, which I'm sure that a lot of you all have heard about. There was a draw recently in February, and our IRCC invited candidates from the Canadian Experience Class, which is commonly known as CEC. This invitation round only required candidates to have a CRS score of 75, which was the lowest CRS score ever. A total of 5,000 ITAs, or as it's commonly known, an invitation to apply, was issued in each of the 4 express entry draws that took place between November 18th and December 23rd last year. Prior to today, the lowest CRS cutoff requirement ever was 199 points on May 16, 2017. This draw only invited the Federal Skilled Trades Program candidates. This only goes to show that Canada is committed to achieving its goal of welcoming over 400,000 immigrants this year. So Nabil, would you be able to tell us your opinion about this draw that happened recently?
Yes, this draw is a historic event in the Canadian immigration ever. And this clearly outlines one thing. And the Canadian the immigration or IRCC's to meet its commitment to meet its goals. So as you know that they have, as you mentioned a short while ago, that they have informed us they're going to invite 400,000 people for immigration PR. This does not include work permits or study permits or other streams. So 400,000 people each year is a huge number. And by taking out this draw on 13th of February, the Canadian government has clearly showed their intentions that what they want to do. And this clearly means that they are going to fulfill their targets. And this is an excellent news for people who want to become permanent residents in Canada. and who have done the right things, and who want to take the next step forward to become PRs in Canada. So I'm amazed. It's again, mark my words, it's history. It's history in the making. That day the Canadian government clearly made history. It was totally a profound step, and which has clearly given and showed the intentions that they are on track to fulfill this requirement.
So, Nabil, don't you think this year is a very good year for people to apply for their permanent residency? As people do have a work permit of 3 years, but if they're eligible, don't you think this year is really good for them?
Definitely, definitely. Again, the thing is, the main thing is eligibility. If you are eligible, why not? You should not delay. I know people. My personally, I have experience with people who delayed, intentionally or unintentionally, and they missed out on this draw. Okay. However, again, the learning from this draw is that you should not delay it. Anything, if you are eligible, you have the Ielts score, you have your education equivalency if required, you have 1 year experience in Canada. I would say, do it should not be delayed at all. I mean, because you never know what comes next. But the intentions from the Immigration Canada are very clear. They're very transparent. They want people and they want to fulfill their targets.
Perfect. Now that our viewers know that if they are eligible, they should be applying this year, let's move on to knowing what is the express entry system. Nabil, would you be able to give us an overview on this system? Everybody has heard the word express entry, but not a lot of them are aware of what it actually is. Would you be able to care to share little light on it, please?
Yes, Express Entry is. I would just give you a brief about Express Entry. Is was issue was started on 1st January 2015, and it is an application management system. So it is a way to apply for applications for permanent residence, and it is kind of you can put it in a way that it is an umbrella application management system. It's an umbrella which covers four main streams, which are known as CEC, the one we are talking about, Canadian Experience Class. Second is Federal Skilled Worker. Third is Federal Skilled Trades. And the fourth is Provincial Nominee Programs. So each stream has its own criteria. Each stream has its own eligibility. And again, for example, what is Canadian Experience Class? Canadian Experience Class is for someone who has worked in Canada for over 1 year, and that too full-time. It is not for somebody like a student and who doesn't work, who does not have the authority to work full time and only has worked 20 hours a week. They do not fall under Canadian Experience Class. Canadian Experience Class is something where you have to work at least 1 year, 52 weeks full time, and full time means 30 hours or more a week to qualify under this stream. And so similarly, the second class that I told you is Federal Skilled Worker. Federal Skilled Worker is for someone who's outside Canada, who are not here, who do not have the work permits here, who want to apply from abroad to come to Canada. So that's a different stream. It has got its own criteria. It has got its own eligibility criteria, own requirements. Third is the Federal Skilled Trade. Though this stream could be for people from inside Canada, outside Canada, sorry, whatever they are. But this is again in the skilled trades, like electricians, plumbers, and so this is what it is. And thirdly, the fourth stream is the Provincial Nominee Program, where each province selects its own applicants depending on their labor laws, labor requirements, their own immigration streams. Each province has their own immigration streams. Some provinces have as many as, if I'm not wrong, 10 streams. So there are different streams for each province, and they select their own applicants based on their criteria. And once they have selected those applicants, they go ahead and they give the applicant 600 additional points, and then these applicants are routed through the express entry stream. So this is how the express entry streams express entry works. So in short, I mean, it is totally a very unique system. Actually, this system is now being followed by Britain, who recently launched a system like Express Entry. Even New Zealand, as far as I know, they have launched a system like Express Entry. So this is a very, very unique system, and which is very transparent and easy to work on.
Okay, thank you, Nabil. Now, just speaking about different provinces, often we get this question where people know that we are situated in Ontario, but they have questions regarding other provinces as well. So they keep asking us if we do help them with their immigration through other provinces. Would you be able to tell them that yes, we do help and how to go about that?
Yes, Stacey, again, as I mentioned, each province has its own streams of immigration, and they want to and they define their own streams. They design their own streams based on their own criteria. For example, just let me tell you, Ontario. Ontario has its own streams. There are streams where they invite long haul truck drivers as well. There are streams where they invite farm workers as well. There are streams in Ontario where they invite the tech people as well in the IT industry. So there are various streams for each province, and each province again has its own criteria, what how they want to meet, what requirements they want to meet, what they want to do. So this is how each province defines its own requirements, and then the applicants apply to those streams to meet the criteria. Once they meet the eligibility criteria, they are given either 600 points or something known as a provincial nominee certificate, which helps them to apply for a permanent resident application going forward.
Okay, perfect. That's very good to know. And thank you so much for such detailed information. Now, oftentimes people are very confused about making changes to their application. So let me allow me to give you an example, and then you can explain what can be done in this hypothetical situation. So John is 30 years old. He is married and completed his bachelor's degree in Canada in May 2019. Since completing his bachelor's degree, he has been working as a restaurant manager in Canada. John also worked as a restaurant manager back home overseas. Now, John is married to Pinky, his wife, who's 33 years old, and she has been working as an accountant for 1 year in Canada. She received her bachelor's degree before coming, and she works here now. So, both John and his wife wrote the Ielts exam and they got a good score. And both, except, no, sorry, not both of them, but John entered the express entry pool. He had a score of about 437, and as you know, last month's draw had a score of just 75 to be eligible. Now, John did receive an invitation to apply, but John quickly realized that he should have added his wife to his application as well. So John called us up and asked us that would he be able to make changes to his application now that he has already received an ITA?
Thank you, Stacey. That's a relatively complicated case in the sense because this is where I would recommend that an advice from a professional is must required. So John did this thing. He created his own profile, leaving out his wife, which at the first step is okay to some extent, but he should have taken his wife on board first of all. But with this draw, what happened is, again, we are focusing on express entry and its challenges. So with this draw, the situation changes. The situation changes in the sense that with 75 points, technically, if John were to put his wife in, his points will drop. Depending on her criteria, which I don't exactly have what you mentioned, but let's say her points drop, their combined CRS goes down to 350 points. Okay. Under normal circumstances, we would never do that. I would never recommend doing that. However, under this scenario, this could be a possibility, but again, I would have to review the case, see the complexity. Generally, this is not a practice that we do. We have not done this. We generally do not do this because there's a lot of complexities around it. But here, we can review. Could be. I may not be able to give you full example unless until I see the full case in front of me. But this could be possible. Yes. I mean, this could be possible, and then we can go from there onwards accordingly. But again, it all depends on case to case. No two cases are the same. No, there are no, we cannot say that that's happened to this applicant, the same will happen to me. No, this doesn't happen. I mean, it could happen, but generally this is not the rule that to be followed. So again, in this scenario, on the limited information that you've given, it could be a possibility, but I would have to look into the case again and advise the applicant accordingly.
Thank you so much, Nabil. And now to ask you today's burning question, which I'm sure a lot of our viewers want to know, is what is the process of express entry once you receive an invitation to apply? As in, what do you do next? When is the right time to contact us, and what documents are required?
Okay, so again, thing is, if we are talking about Canadian Experience Class, Canadian Experience Class is again, as I mentioned earlier, is a unique class where an applicant must have a work permit in Canada. The work permit could be an open work permit or could be a closed work permit. That we can discuss later on the challenges of both. But in this scenario, let's say an applicant has an open work permit, and which is usually a postgraduate work permit issued to the applicant after the completion of their studies. So an applicant, what happens is that, as you're aware of it, if an applicant studies 1 year in Canada, they are eligible to get a 1 year work permit. If an applicant studies 2 years in Canada, 2 years in Canada, and their studies are full-time, continuous, they are eligible for up to a 3 year work permit. Yes. So, and in certain cases, let me give you an example. We have recently seen a lot of cases where an applicant has done a 1 year master's program. The program was 1 year master's, and they were only given a 1 year work permit because they studied only 1 year. So this is where, I mean, each work permit has their own required eligibility criteria, each studies. So what happens is, in this scenario, so can an applicant, as I said, anybody working in Canada on a work permit, not on a student permit. This I would like to clear, because in the recent past we have received a lot of inquiries after this express entry door saying that, I've been a student, I worked for over 1 year. Do I qualify for CEC? No, you don't. CEC again clearly means Canadian Experience Class, person who has a valid work permit. Closed or open, that is secondary. But somebody who has worked on the work permit, somebody who is there in work in Canada, and again for CEC, primarily it should be full-time work experience, and full-time in Canada is counted as 30 hours or more. So in this scenario, what you are asking me is, we can go from here onwards. So Canadian Experience Class, so somebody who is over 30 hours of experience, work experience, or equivalent in part-time, and then we go from once they have this kind of experience, and let's say it's a full-time experience. So let's say they started in the month of June. So in the next June, they will complete another 1 full year. Okay, once they have done their year, they are ready. So this means, let's say today is March, and somebody who started last year in June, coming May, they will finish 1 year. So they should start contacting us, and then we will guide them what to do, what documents are required, where to start from. Then the first and foremost importance is the comprehensive ranking score. We need to figure out their score. If, let's say, they have an Ielts general, so if so Ielts general is under the mandatory requirement. If they have a back home degree, education credential assessment is another mandatory requirement. Okay, other than the work experience scan. So these, let's say they have these two information, then we calculate their CRS. We calculate the comprehensive ranking score. We do, we find out, let's say somebody is around in the 450 range. Okay, so we'll tell them that, okay, you will complete this, you will have these points in 450 on, let's say example, on so and so date. So we can make your profile on so and so date, and once your profile is ready, and for the profile we need so and so information. So which I told you, the mandatory requirement is Ielts general and education credential assessment if they have education from back home. And again, the third requirement is, we were talking about work experience, for NOC code, National Occupation Classification Code. NOC code only for Canadian Experience Class. NOC codes at work are 0, A, or B. A B level job, you can say, usually is a supervisory job. A level job is a managerial job, 0 level job is a top managerial job. So this is how it works. So somebody, I got a call recently, a few calls actually recently, where the applicants were working in an NOC level job, which won't qualify them for a Canadian experience class. And ironically, they were working for over 8 months, and they thought it was an NOCB level job. So you understand, and they did not know what to do about it. Unfortunately, I had to tell them that either you clarify with your management whether it's an NOC B level job or C level. But as per the job title they told me and the information they told me, they were NOC C level jobs. Unfortunately, I mean, we couldn't do anything, so they may have to start from zero. So this is where an applicant must have all their ducks in a row. They should know. So this is why the earlier they connect with us. I have applicants who, the moment they graduate from college or about to graduate, they ask us to do their postgraduate work permit. We do a postgraduate work permit. They start their jobs, and they tell us that, I started my job on so and so date. I'll be completing 1 year on so and so date. What am I supposed to do? Then we tell them that, okay, so you're starting your job on so and so date. You have to connect with us 6 months down the road. And in the meanwhile, please do your Ielts general, get your education equivalency done. And after you have all these things done, come to us. We'll do your calculation, comprehensive ranking score. I have helped so many people get to the right comprehensive ranking score. What happens is people come to me, I think I'm at 380. Once I do their score, we come out to that, it comes out to be 430 or something. Or somebody, I recently got somebody, that person told me I've got 480. And I knew from the credentials that they were telling me that it's not 480 from the experience that I have. And at the end of the day, we came out, it was 430 or something. So again, there are various examples where people misunderstand, do not understand the requirements of the law, and then are waiting for 1 year to complete, and whereas they're not there yet. So this is where under express entry, it is imperative that you have everything ready, especially for the Canadian experience class, ahead of time, and you go from there.
Thank you, Nabil. And speaking about the knock codes, as you mentioned that a lot of people are unaware about their knock code. A lot of them have knock C jobs and they don't know about it. So would you be able to tell our viewers about us checking the right knock code and checking the job description as well? As in how our office takes care of it.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, this is again, as I said, this is imperative that we have the right NOC code. Yesterday also, I consulted somebody. They were under the impression that their job is an NOCB level job, but as per the job description and the job title they gave to me, it was not an NOCB level job. It was an NOCC level job, which I had to inform them. And unfortunately, they were not of the they couldn't quite comprehend that, because no, this is NOCC level, this NOCB level. I said no, this is not. So this is again the first and foremost when you start a job. We help so many of our clients, so many of people who call us that can we start a job? Should we take this job? Should we take that job? Is this job qualified as a NOCB level job? And we totally help them. Whatever we can do, we help them wherever we can, and clearly informing them that this is. I get so many. We do so many. This is actually a part of NOC classification. We, as a goodwill gesture, we give it as a part of. We share this information as a part of initial consultation meeting. I know so many other corporations, immigration consultancies that do not do that. We do it just for the sake of the betterment of our clients' future. This is part of our initial consultation meeting, where we tell them, okay, if this is your job title and this is your job description, this is not whether it will qualify NOCB or not. So we do our level best, and wherever required, when we are doing the PR applications, we draft templates, job letter templates, as per the IRCC requirements, and we give it to our clients so that they can share it with their management, HR, and if possible, if everything's well, the management agrees to it, they sign it and they go from there. So we definitely help with NOC, job description, job letters, everything.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Nabil. Now, during an application, what do you think are the most important documents that an applicant needs?
Again, the list is not limited to. I can point out a few documents which are required, but this is not again an exhaustive list. I mean, obviously the first and foremost, as I said, is IELTS general. You must have the test report form. I have few clients where they unfortunately did not have a test report form. They had that email saying that this is it, but they do not have the test report form. So this is one thing that they need to you need to have it. And then secondly, that then and if you have education from back home, it has to be equivalency. Education credential assessment should be there. And then after that, again, then your basic documents like your passport, your birth certificate. If you're married, your marriage certificate. And if your marriage certificate is not in English or French language, it has to be translated. So, and your job letters, obviously, which we discussed a short while ago. Job letters are a must. Obviously, if you have to show that you're working back home or here in Canada, whatever you're working, it has to be job letters are there. If you have got children, your children's information, their passports, their birth certificates. So again, if you're divorced, I had a I had I had a client where his they came to us after their application was rejected, and we did therefore because they hadn't supported their documentation with the divorce certificate, something of sort. So I mean, so this is how it goes on. So the list is not. This is again just the pointers towards what could be, but each case again is different.
Yes, Nabil. As you spoke about refusals, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions regarding that as well. But before that, let's speak about your experience with people filing their own paperwork. Have you come across a lot of applicants who do their own paperwork, but at the end they get refusal letters, or they find out that they do not get an ITA because of wrong documentation? What is your experience regarding this?
Yes, over the years, dealing with express entry applications, it has been a wonderful experience for us. We have helped many clients through very difficult applications, through very difficult cases as well. What happens is that in the last few years, I have dealt with so many of the people where they have received the ITS. And as I said a short while ago, that their comprehensive ranking score or their understanding of the comprehensive ranking score was wrong. They filled out, they created an E profile based on their understanding. And when they received an ITA, obviously, I mean, if it has certain wrong information, misrepresentation, something of sort, then it becomes difficult. So we have in many cases, I can tell you probably in if not in hundreds around that figure, we have helped people to decline the invitation, to withdraw the profile and create a new profile. Why? The only reason being that the information was not correct, or the sequence of the information was wrong, or there could be many reasons for that. But in short, the baseline is that if you do not submit the right information on your profile and you receive an ITA, it is not possible to justify the ITA. So simple. I mean, let's say you somebody people a lot of people misinterpret a postgraduate certificate to a master's degree. I mean, that's a very common problem, and they claim points for a master's degree, whereas the education equivalency clearly states that this is not a master's degree, or they misunderstand their education credential assessment report, and they take it as a master's degree, whereas it's not a master's degree. It was just a postgraduate certificate. And I've helped so many people whose PR applications were refused because the points were not the same, because they had claimed for a master's degree. It was not a master's degree. It was a postgraduate certificate, and they were just out of sync for the whole scenario then. So this is just one example that I'm giving you. So, and then I told you there's another requirement, another example I'm giving you. The couple did not include their previous divorce certificates in the application, or did not declare that they were earlier divorced. So this is another scenario. So there are various scenarios where this happens. So this is the most important part is the correct information. And okay, your information is also correct, but the correct analysis of your scenario. I get so many clients. Oh, my friend did it and he got through. I couldn't get through because I tell him your scenario is different from your friend. He got through. You don't know what he put in there, but you didn't get through because your scenario was different. No, we started in the same college, but your background is different. Your IELTS is different. Your age is different. Your experience is different. Your NOC code is different. There could be so many things there. So this is where your information. And then the most important part, I tell all my clients and I tell all our prospective clients and viewers, misrepresentation. If an officer catches you for wrong information, and the officer deems it as misrepresentation, you could be banned for 5 years. You will not be able to apply again. So this is the most important part. So this is where we inform our clients that we have to be very, very, very careful about it. I hope I've answered your question. I mean, I can go on. I can go on. I mean, if that's not an issue.
Thank you so much, Nabil. But now speaking about refusals, say an applicant did do their paperwork and they got an IT and everything, but at the last moment they were refused. Or another scenario is, say in last month's CRS score when it dropped to 75, if an applicant already applied last year and they didn't get an ITA. So what do you think could have gone wrong, or what do you think they can do now if they do get a refusal? Does our office handle such cases? And if so, what can be done for such cases?
Again, as I mentioned, yes, we do take care of a lot of applications, a lot of refused applications, which clients do it themselves. Again, doing it themselves, nobody's stopping anybody to do their applications themselves. But based on your experience, to do a study permit. And usually what happens is, as you know, that 90% of the people, of the students here, they themselves have not even done the study permit. They had a consultant do it back home for them. When they came here, they probably only did a work permit application or a study permit extension, probably. And the study permit extension and the work permit application are only temporary residence applications. By doing those and getting those approved does not mean that you understand the immigration laws. You understand the immigration regulations, or you understand the crux of the matter of with the immigration law. If this was so easy, I mean, there won't be such thick books for immigration laws and immigration things. There won't be immigration courts. There won't be immigration lawyers, because this is not that easy as people accept it. Okay, as I said, express entry, the application management system is designed user friendly. But that does not mean that your application is easy. The way to do applications is easy, yes, for sure. But how to interpret the application, how to correctly submit the application, how to understand the officer's questions, that is something else. So what happens is, we do take care of a lot of refused applications, people who tried themselves and they came to us for help, and then we have to redo the applications. Or as I said, in the last couple of years, we have received a lot of people who connect with us after the ITAs. They've received the ITA. They are very happy. They have received the ITA. But when I go through the breakdown with them, the score is not correct. Their understanding of the profile that they created was not correct. So again, we have to decline the ITA. We have to withdraw the profile, create another profile with the correct information. And then, as I said, somebody was at 480. And they received the ITA. When they came to us to submit the whole application, PR application, we were doing the PR application, and I told them, I said, you don't deserve 480. You couldn't get 480 points. Oh no, I got 480 points. This is the way. And straight away there was a mistake. I told them, this is the mistake. You take out so many points. You are 430. And at that time, there was no draw for 430. They had to wait. But in the 575 draw, they were invited. So again, the scenarios keep changing. So there is never, with the PR application, as long as you are online, you are going to be on track with Immigration Canada. Immigration Canada is again, as we said earlier, that Immigration Canada is on track to fulfill their requirements for number of permanent residents in Canada. because they couldn't do so last year. This year, they are on track for it. And their first priority is qualified skilled workers in Canada, which is known as Canadian Experience Class. So doing, again, coming back to your point of refusals and resubmissions, we get tons of them. We get tons of, because again, people take it too lightly. It's a PR application. It's not a work permit application. It's a permanent residence application. That's a whole lot different than a work permit application. It's people. Oh, I did my post-graduate work permit myself. I said, yes, you did yourself, because that was one form, and that was probably, you could do it with the help of a senior or some other friend who helped you. Okay, so this is the issue. You are going to be, you have to be very careful of what you do. You cannot just reading blogs and reading information from other people does not lead you to the right application. It could lead you, but does not mean. I have so many people who have received those letters for misrepresentation, or who have received letters to submit their information again, and we do tons of them.
That's right, Nabil. And I'm not sure if you remember this example that I remember you spoke to me about once, about people when they're sick, they go to a doctor. Do you remember that example?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. The thing is, again, self-medication. How many of us would treat our own selves for something that we don't know? Why do we go to a doctor? I always say this. Why do we go to a doctor? The reason being that we don't want to take a risk with our bodies. We don't want to take a risk with our health. So similarly, why do you want to take a risk with your PR application? Just because your friend did it or your friend's friend did it and he got through does not mean that you are going to get through that way. That does not lead. And again, people tell me, oh, why did my work permit application? I said, no, work permit and PR are two different stories. They're two total different stories. So what you got to do is we have to work out, again, self-medication, again, self-application is okay to a certain extent. Oh, you have a headache, you can take a Tylenol. That's fine. Or you can take an Advil. You have cramps, you can take Advil, whatever it is, right? I'm not a doctor, so I cannot tell you. But the thing is, if you have something serious, what do? Immediately go to a physician. The physician guides you to a specialist. And why do you run to a specialist? Literally, all of us probably, if God forbid we have something, we run to a specialist. Why? Because we don't want to take anything wrong. We don't want to take wrong medicine. And so similarly, with immigration, why do you want to take a risk with your own application? I really don't understand. People, I know people do it. Some people get successful as well. But why take a risk? If you don't understand it, why take a risk? This is very important. If for so many things, I take help of my professional colleagues. In most of my cases, most of my information. For example, tax filing. I've been in Canada for so many years. I still don't file tax without our president, Mr. Alex's approval, because he's also CPA.
True.
I tell him, Mr. Alex, he says, you should have learned it by now. I said, I've learned it, but you are a CPA as well. So you know how to look at it from a CPA angle, because you're a professional. You know what CRA needs. Right. So it's not that, I would just go out and take a software and do my own taxes. No, I don't do that. I asked Mr. Alex, you have to do my taxes. You're a CPA and you have to tell me what I need to cover and what I don't need to cover. And exactly this is what happens. Every time he tells me, okay, Nabil, this year, this has changed. This year, this has changed. So this is where we need to be careful. We need to provide CRA these receipts and this information to CRA too. So if we don't take a chance with our taxes, why do we take chances with our PR applications then?
Very rightly said, Nabil. We don't take a chance with our health or our taxes. So your PR is something that you need to get right the first time. So I think it's very important to hire someone like us to do your entire application. We give you a comprehensive review, and only then do we guide you on whether you should apply now or in the future. So moving on, we have a lot of questions coming in from our viewers. But before we head into the Q&A session for today, Nabil, allow me to question you about some frequently asked questions so that we give our viewers a clearer picture of what the questions are, what the rest of our viewers are also asking. And then at the end of it, we shall pick and select some questions from our viewers that are unique. So, Nabil, the first question is, what are the language requirements for express entry? Sorry, Nabil, I think your mic is on mute. Nabil, I think your mic is on mute. Sorry, viewers, I think we're having some technical difficulties. Please stay with us for a few moments.
Yeah, sorry about that. There was a
Perfect.
technical difficulty on the screen. I'm sorry about that. So my mic was mute and I lost my screen for a while. Yeah, sorry about that. And thank you for waiting. Can you please repeat the question, Stacy?
Sure, sure. The first question is, what are the language requirements for express entry?
Yes, again, language requirements vary from class to class. So if it's a federal skilled worker, it is, I mean, applying from outside Canada, it is CLB 7. For a Canadian experience class, it is CLB 5. So somebody who has worked in Canada, it is a CLB 5 for them, which is actually which was done about, I think, if I'm not wrong, this CLB 5 requirement was done about last year something. It was excellent. I mean, it has helped so many people go through the profile, create a profile, and be eligible for the PR. So the government of Canada, again, as my said, that it would be their intentions are very clear. They want to help people. They want to help people who are inside Canada to move on to become permanent residents at the earliest.
Okay, thank you. And to our viewers, they have been asking questions in the chat, and some of you all must have seen that Mr. Alex Romano has also joined us, and he has been answering your questions in the chat. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining us and answering those questions. Okay, so Nabil, the second question is, can I work while I wait for a decision regarding my permanent residence? Sorry.
Yes, technically, that is, again, if you're inside Canada, again, there's different scenarios. So if you're inside Canada, yes, you can. I mean, depending. I have clients right now whose work permit postgrad work permits have expired. They are unable to work, but we have submitted their PR applications. So they are here on a visitor record, okay, or on students. They went back to becoming students. Okay, and this is how we go from there. Okay, so again, your scenario, if you have a postgraduate work permit or a work permit, I have clients who are on a closed work permit working for multinationals like Accenture, TCS, Infosys. I mean, so these are big companies. Their applications are in process. They are working because they already have work permits. So as I said, usually if you time yourself correctly, you usually after 2-year course you get a 3-year work permit. Once you get a 3-year work permit, if you time yourself very correctly, I mean, and you finish your, let's say you, for example, I was just giving an example to a client this morning, that let's say you finish your course, they're finishing their course in April, end April. So by the time they get their course completion certificate and transcript, it's about mid-May. So if they apply for, let's say, for a postgraduate work permit on 15th of May, okay, and they get a file number on 15th of May, so they are on applied status, and if they can start working then the following week on, let's say, on 22nd of May. So this will help them go through 1 year, and if they are working on an NOCB level job full time, 30 hours a week, so come next May they're eligible to apply for Canadian experience class. But in the meanwhile, if they have the back home experience, back home education, they need to do the education equivalency. If they have the and they have to do Ielts general, so they keep themselves ready, and then come next May we apply for their profile. We create a profile with Ielts and with this thing, Ielts and education equivalency, and they go from there onwards.
Okay, that's good to know. So our third question is, how many points will I get with a job offer?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, it's a job offer. Again, people misunderstand it and mistake it for anything like a regular job offer that any employer can give you in Canada. That is not true. A job offer means an LMIA job offer, Labor Market Impact Assessment application, which is approved by Service Canada, the ESDC department, and they approve that application and they give you a job offer. That is known as job offer. So if it is a PR LMIA, it gives you 50 points. It gives you 50 points for an NOC 0 A or B, or if it is a NOC 00, which is a vice president level, top management level, then it is about 200. It is 200 points. So it's as long as it's 0 A or B, you get 50 points for it. And NOC 00, it will get 200 points for it. And again, as I would like to repeat, a job offer is not anything that you got from your employer, a regular on the page. No, that's not a job offer. A job, and just like people say, oh, I signed an offer of employment when I joined this company. No, that is not a job offer by immigration rules. A job offer means an LMIA. An LMIA has a specific work permit. LMIA has a specific number, and that number is linked to the immigration department, and they verify this and they get you 50 points for it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for clearing that up. Our next question is, what are the core human capital factors?
Okay, so core human capital factors are mainly, as I've been saying throughout the whole scenario, is age, language ability, education, and experience. So obviously under express entry profile, especially for FSW, federal skilled workers, people applying outside Canada, age, all these matter a lot. So the ideal mix as per their selection, the Immigration Canada selection for last few months has been very tight. Tight means that their score has been very high. So this is what core human factors are. Again, I repeat, age, education, language ability, and experience.
Okay, perfect. And this question is new. We haven't mentioned about a bridge work permit, but we often get questions about it. Would you be able to tell our viewers what a bridge work permit is and what purpose does it have?
Yes, bridging work permit is, we have executed bridging work permits and probably in hundreds of them successfully. Bridging work permit is usually applied after your PR application. So today, let's say we apply for your PR application under under CEC. Usually it is only for CEC, Canadian Experience Class. You apply for your application. So let's say we applied for your application on 15th of March. And your work permit is expiring, your postgraduate work permit is expiring on 30th of March. Okay, so as long as we have on 15th of March, we apply for your PR application. That PR, that's not the ITA, it's a full PR application. If we submit your PR application on 15th of March, and then we receive something known as AOR, Acknowledgement or Receipt, we receive that, and then we can apply for a bridging work permit before 30th of March. So as long as we receive this thing, we receive your file number for bridging work permit, you are considered as you are on the work permit for 1 year. So usually a bridging work permit is 1 year long.
Okay, perfect. And Nabil, as we know that the government came up with a new extension on work permits this year, which is open from January to July. That's the window where they allow you to apply for an 18-month work permit extension. So what is the difference between the bridge work permit and the new work permit application? So
yes,
do
again,
you have to, yeah, so do
go
you
ahead,
have
please.
to do it, do you have to apply for both if you apply for your PR, or is just one of them all right?
Okay, very good question. I can explain you very. So again, as I said, bridging work permit was specifically, you are able to apply only if you have applied, if you have submitted your PR application and you have received something known as acknowledgement of receipt. So this one, this bridging work permit, this 18-month work permit, the open work permit extension, as we call it, the PGWP extension or the work permit extension. This is a very special stream issued by the Government of Canada Immigration due to Corona. Because as you know, due to COVID-19 last year, many international students could not find a real job. Many businesses closed. Many businesses are still closed. So that has affected the economy very much. So the government of Canada, as a goodwill gesture, they have issued this, allowed us to apply for an 18-month work permit. So again, this is different from bridging work permit, but in the last few months we have had clients where we had the option of applying either a work permit or this 18-month work permit. We chose to apply for an 18-month work permit so that they can get a longer duration, and you go from there. Again, as I said, I repeat, the bridging work permit is only after the PR application. This 18-month work permit does not have the requirement of a PR application. If you meet the other requirements, you can apply for it.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. And as we know, when people apply for their applications from outside Canada, they have to show various proof of funds. What is the case for someone who is applying from inside Canada? Do they have to show any proof of funds?
Yes, the proof of fund requirement remains the same from inside Canada or outside Canada. However, with the CEC applicants, if they are working, again, I repeat, if they are working and they are in an NOCB level job, then they don't have to show that amount in the bank account, but they have to show that they're working, they're getting a salary, and they have to show proof of their income then.
Okay. So our next question is a little complicated for a lot of our viewers. So one of them has asked that will I be eligible under CEC if I had two jobs in 1 year, but both of them were NOCB level jobs?
Yes, again, if you had two jobs, again, depending, sometimes what happens is that I have had clients where one job was for over 30 hours, the other job was probably 20 hours. So they were doing so, and both were NOCB level jobs. So, however, the easier route for them is that if they have one job which is over 30 hours and it's NOCB level job, then that's a better option to choose that one as their main supporting job then.
Okay, perfect. And another frequently asked question is, can I start my express entry file even if I do not have my Ielts score or if I haven't done my best yet?
No, I see. Again, if you haven't done your VES, we just recently did a profile for somebody, one of our clients. She had the IELTS, she had Canadian education, she had Canadian experience, but she did not have a VES yet because VES was not issued. So we created a profile, and that allowed we were able to create a profile, and we went not a problem. But obviously, she did not get her points for her education back home. But once her VES was issued, we upgraded her profile, and she received the points for her education back home. So that is true. But on your second question, without IELTS, we cannot. If you don't have IELTS, we cannot create a profile. Simple. Baseline. If we don't have IELTS, we cannot create a profile. No way.
Okay, perfect. So as you know, we often receive questions such as, how will I know how many CRS points I have before the draw? Or what happens if I have a birthday before my permanent residence application? Should I apply to the FSW program or express entry? How does the FSW funnel into express entry? What are some misconceptions about the express entry program? Of course, not every question can be answered in a video or a webinar like this. And again, just as Mr. Nabil said that no case is the same, every case is unique. No two cases are going to be the same, even if you think your friend studied the same thing as you. So we suggest booking an ICM with us to discuss your eligibility and to see what your CRS score might be. So now, since I mentioned ICM, Nabil, could you please let our viewers know what does an ICM entail? What do we do during the ICM?
Yes, so ICM means initial consultation meeting. So what the initial consultation meeting is, basically it's review of your eligibility. So as I said, people come to me, they have miscalculated their points, or they have misunderstood their job to be an OCB level job, or they have miscalculated, just like the example you gave, that that person was married but he didn't show his wife. So it's basically the eligibility review and a pathway determination at what you do. And also in ICM, as I said, that as a goodwill gesture, we also determine um, the NOC codes. We helped them determine. Yesterday, I gave an initial consultation meeting. It was a young gentleman, educated, very good English, and he was very confused about his NOC code. And I gave them very openly. I told him that this is your NOC code and this is something. And he was so thankful that, in the first meeting you gave me the NOC code. I've called so many other consultations, consultants, and nobody gave me this even after paid consultation. I said, no, that's your right. You have paid for it. And we will determine your NOC code. And we determined its NOC code. I clearly told him. He said he was so appreciative of the fact. So again, this is where we help whatever we can. It is, again, it is his choice. He wants to retain our services or not. But eventually, if he understands, then we go from there.
Thank you, Nabil. And just to reiterate, why should our viewers contact Northwest Immigration for an assessment? Of course, everything that we've said leads to the fact that an assessment is required and ICM is important. But could you just go over why an assessment with us is important?
Okay, as you reminded me a short while ago, why would you go to a doctor for your basic health issues then, right? Even if you have a smallest health issue, you would like to go to a doctor to discuss that what it is, right? So so the thing is, we have to. This is where we come in to guide you. Obviously, usually what happens is somebody is doing their express entry application. They are doing it once in a lifetime. It's their one and only application for PR, right? We, on the other hand, this is our bread and butter. This is what we do. This is what our expertise is. This is what we have studied and what we have experienced and what we practice as a consultant, right? So this is where we have gone through. Me and Mr. Alex have gone through probably hundreds of express entry applications, hundreds of spousal applications, hundreds of other applications. So our vision, our experience is definitely much broader than somebody who's doing it once and only time in their lifetime. You see, you understand. So it's very simple. That if you need just to be, if you want to make your application success, then this is where we come and help you. You see, again, by law, we are not allowed to guarantee you any success, but we try our level best with our experience and expertise to ensure that your application is as per the requirements of Immigration Canada and fulfill the regulations and the Act of Immigration Law.
And Nabil, like we always say that we provide personalized services. We are always there for our clients. There are so many times that even post 5:30, a lot of clients give you a call and they are hesitant about their application. They're scared or they're anxious and they do give you calls. But all of our consultants are always available to answer your call and to reassure you about your application. Hasn't this happened many times to you as well, Nabil?
Yes, obviously. I mean, sometimes there's a deadline. We are working very late. I mean, if you see our Google reviews, there was a Google review recently, I think in the month of January, where the applicant had a very close deadline, and we worked with them till late at night to submit their application on time to ensure that the application submitted. Although, believe you me, we had the option. Our client had given us the option that if you cannot meet the deadline, I'm willing to pay for the restoration of status fee. So I said, no, why? I don't want you to spend $200 extra. We will take it upon us to submit the application. Although we wanted them to come earlier, but somehow they couldn't come earlier. There were some issues with them, but we helped them go through it very successfully late at night. Yes, there are times we work very late. We are there for, again, our job is to give you service, and this is what we do. We usually we have a staff of nine people working with us, and we have there's somebody appointed to you. To an applicant, they are somebody there to pick up your call. So somebody is there somehow to take up you, even if I'm not available or Mr. Alex is not available, we are in meetings or whatever we're doing. So but there is somebody available to pick up your call, and we get the messages. usually direct messages to us as well, emails. We try to reply to emails within 24 hours, but there's somebody to pick up the calls and somebody to help you answer your questions then. Stacey, you're muted. Sorry, you're
Yeah,
muted.
sorry,
Yes.
my mistake. Very rightly said, Nabil, that there's always someone to pick up the call. And there's not just one way to get in touch with us. There are numerous ways for you to reach us, whether you are inside Canada or outside Canada. I'm going to be sharing our numbers with you. We do have a toll-free number. We have a mobile number. We have our office numbers. We have a WhatsApp number. And I'm just going to be sharing it here in the chat with all of y'all so that y'all can note it down. If y'all have questions over WhatsApp, those messages are directly come on my phone, so I can I can evaluate y'all, I can help you reach Nabil and our other consultants as well. So as you all know, as I mentioned earlier, that we are open till 5:30. We open from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30, and not just 5 days a week. We're open 6 days a week, and we are ready for an in-person or phone or video consultation as well. Okay, Nabil, I think now it's time to move into our Q&A. I'm just going to pick out some questions that our viewers have left for us. Okay. Okay, so I think this is something that a lot of candidates do ask. So, hello, which of the two degrees is more convenient for entering the express entry pool? He has an MBA degree, which he obtained from his country, and he also has a managing business degree from a college that he obtained in Canada. So he's asking which degree would give him more weightage.
Okay. So the thing is, again, study in Canada has, for express entry, it has its own points. You study in Canada, you get additional 15 points other than your combined points of studying in Canada. Again, if you have a master's degree from back home, that has its own weightage. So I mean, usually with such a clients that we have master's degree and study in Canada, we add both, because obviously that gives you higher points, higher eligibility, and higher chance of approvals quickly then.
All right. And if I get a PNP nomination, how long do I have to live in that province?
Yes. So obviously, ideally till the time you get your PR. You see, by PNP nomination, what happens is that the province expects you to live there forever, to be honest. But at least till the time you get your PR, you are bound to live there.
Okay, sure. And someone joined in late and they're asking us, what is the minimum score for CSE?
Sorry, for CSE?
CEC, yes.
Yes. So as I said, I mean, we started this webinar with the same wording that the minimum score on the February 13 draw was 75 points only. 75 points only was the minimum score. That was lowest ever in the history of Immigration Canada. And that was for to invite all the applicants in the pool who qualified with 1 year experience and who had IELTS and basic education.
Okay, perfect. And perhaps this may be the last question, but what is North Vista's success rate for express entry applications?
Again, North Vista's rate, you can go to our Google reviews and you'll understand our rate is 100%, because we ensure before we take up a case that it's a doable case, it's a genuine case. The case has merits to it. The case meets its requirements, the applicant meets his requirements, and the applicants know what is expected of them. And when we know how to prepare a case, we have helped with so many different cases, different difficult cases we have helped. So again, this is where our rate is 100% on this one, because we are ensured that before we take up on any case, we retain any case, a client retains us, we ensure that we can do something for them.
Thank you, Nabil. And just to end with our last question, as we do have viewers from outside Canada who have joined us as well, what would be their requirements if they want to put in an application? is it the same as ones who are inside Canada, or does it differ?
No, obviously it differs. As I said, the first of all, the difference is for an FSW, federal skilled worker, is the English IELTS. IELTS requirement. The for Canadian Experience class, as I said, for NOC 0A/B, it is CLB 5. Whereas for if you are from outside Canada for FSW, it is CLB 7. So this is the first major difference, that inside Canada you can do it with CLB 5, outside Canada you have to have CLB 7. So this is the first major difference that we have to fulfill between the outside Canada federal skilled worker and inside Canada Canadian Experience class.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nabil. This has really been very informative. I think this is usually a lot of content that we give during our ICMs, but we've put everything together in this webinar. Thank you so much for giving us all this information, for answering all our frequently asked questions, questions from the viewers as well. Thank you so much for taking time out from your day, because I'm sure that you have a lot of cases. And as I would also like to tell you all that Nabil actually sits very late and he works on cases by himself. So thank you so much for doing this today, Nabil.
Yes, again, obviously, because during the daytime, we are taking initial consultation meetings. There are follow-up meetings. There are people coming to our office to visit us. There are some cases to review, but the main majority of my work is in when I'm secluded and seclusion, so that I can concentrate and I can work on the cases with attention to detail. We try, again, we are humans, but we try to work very honestly. What I've learned from Mr. Alex, my partner, when we formed this company, was honesty. He work honestly, work ethically, and to be very straightforward. We are very honest, very straightforward. We tried our level best to our clients to tell them the whole story, that this is what we expect, because we get difficult cases, and we have helped many clients go through difficult cases. We have helped, obviously our job is there, this is our job, but again, we have limitations as well. We are up against the government, and then there are rules and regulations and the act that has to be followed. So we try our level best what to do, so that, because we understand that people who are aspiring permanent residents, again, it means a lot to become a permanent resident in Canada. We all know that. We all are here. Some of us were born here. Some of us became permanent residents. Some of us are aspiring to become one. So this is where we try our level best. We try our level best at North Vista to help our clients, to help them go through this period of anxiety, this period of uncertainty, and to give them the assurance that we are there for them. I mean, there are so many times where we lend an ear to our clients because we are there to help them. We have done their application, but we cannot do much more if the processing time is longer or something. So this is how we do it. And I would like to tell our viewers that hopefully we are planning to go on a live webinar. As I said earlier, that, as you said, Stacey, earlier, that it's a series of webinars on different topics. And because the Canadian immigration is changing a lot, it's evolving, it's always on the move. So and it's an ongoing process, the immigration, and there are different streams coming up, and we expect some streams to come up in the health sector. They're going to bring in, we need personal support workers, we need home support workers. So probably the government is going to come up with those streams. The provinces are going to come up with those streams. And we expect, Mr. Alex was telling me, he's expecting construction workers, IT workers, IIT skilled workers to come up, becoming requirements to be coming up. So next hour, we are planning for a webinar on spousals. We do a lot of spousals applications inside Canada, outside Canada, and very successfully as well. So we are having, we'll be having a webinar on spousals to discuss the challenge, because spousal application, again, is one of the most common streams of immigration, and we are going to do a webinar on that one as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nabil. I'd like to thank you and Alex especially for this webinar. To all our viewers, thank you so much for waiting till the end of the webinar for the Q&A session.
Yes.
Also, for those who are interested in the spousal application webinar, we shall be sending out emails soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Take care. Goodbye. Thank you everybody for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.